Should I use my equity to buy another property? That's a good question because that's exactly what I did. My wife and I, we bought a property in Tasmania and it went up close to 100,000 in a year, and we extracted the equity and we used that equity as deposit to buy another property. What I like about property is that if you buy well, you don't have to keep saving up a deposit. You can just get the equity out and then buy another property. There's only two ways of getting equity out of your property. One of them is to borrow it, which I just mentioned, and the other one is to sell. The problem with selling is you got costs that you have to cover. So there's obviously selling agent fees, capital gains tax if it's an investment. Most importantly, once you sell, you're out of the market. It's likely once you're out, you can't get back into that market. So I think it's important to think about that. If it's a strong area, it's going to have good long-term growth, it would probably make more sense to extract the equity by borrowing it rather than selling. The other thing to consider is how much equity do you have? If you're with one bank, they will provide a valuation and that will tell you what the property is worth and what you can borrow in terms of equity. But another bank may have another valuation that's even higher. So it's always good to talk to your broker to order a few. I usually order about 3, sometimes 4, and try to get the most possible because it's subjective. One valuer might know the area better than another and think the property is worth more, and that can give you access to more equity. But you do have to think that if you did borrow the equity, it's going to increase your loan. You can potentially borrow 100%. So say you bought the property for 500,000, you borrow 80% of that, and then you had equity of 100 on another property and you borrow that. So now you borrow the full 500,000. So no money down, but your debt is 500,000. So you need to consider, like, is the rent actually going to be able to cover that? And will it cover it as the rates go up? So it's always important to have buffers in place. So cash put aside to cover off any of those shortfalls that you have. So talk to your mortgage broker and they can run the numbers for you, and talk to a good buyer's agent that can help you buy well